Welcome back to the Open Wheel Offline League Season 5, Round 7 qualifying here at Indy for Day 2. We're not supposed to be on Connors Village first. What am I doing? Brendan Hubbard going to be the first car to go out today. Reverse order of the top 12 yesterday. It was a chaotic yesterday, especially for this 99 team. Barely squeaked into the top 12 and at one point were all the way down in last. But kept with it and just squeaked through. So we're going to have to see what this 99 has on day 2. And hopefully they have some speed to make it into the Fast 6. You can see the order down through the field. Viking Racing got 4 out of 5 cars into the second round. Only car that didn't was Guy Gagné. He's going to start all the way down in row 9. But the worst that Hubbard can qualify is 12th. So let's see what he has coming down the start-finish straight. First lap will be 2:36.979. We don't know what the baseline is for this temperature, this speed, but 2:36.979 first lap. So you just need to be in the top 6. Everyone only gets one shot, so you're not going to see cars go out many times like they did yesterday. This 99 got the most runs out of anyone. It wasn't even close. Second lap, got to be better. 2:37.285, so found a couple tenths. Coming off turn 4 now. Gonna build up speed to the start-finish line. Let's see what he has here. It's gonna be better, so consistently going up. 2:37.486. So averaging a 2:37.25. Yesterday that would have put him down in 24th. Gonna see if he can find some speed on this final lap. 2:31 exiting turn 4 to the start-finish line. And it's going to be 2:37.756, so improves lap after lap. That's going to be a 2:37.377 average. So obviously going to go P1, but no other competition right now. Up next will be his teammate, number 19 of Nolan Siegel, who also had some difficulty yesterday. Not as much as the 99, but he went out many times. I think second most runs out of anyone. Couldn't find pace till later on. Barely squeaked through. Gonna enter the short chute now. 2:37. The 2:30 exiting the turn. We're gonna have to see where this compares to Hubbard's first lap. And it will be 2:36.730. So not as good. Off by over 2 tenths. Number 19 gonna need to find some pace. Coming off turn 4. Let's see if it's better. Pretty decent improvement, 237.092. Still tracking about 2/10 slower than Hubbard. So right now looking at like a low 237 average. Gonna want to find more pace. Coming off turn 4. Let's see what he has now. Only going to be a little bit quicker, 237.135. Average is currently at 236.99, so just shy of a 237 average. Going to come through turn 4 and back down towards the start-finish line. Let's see what the number 19 of Nolan Siegel has. It's going to be his best lap at the end, but 237.423. That'll make his average at 237.095, just gets into the 237s, but only to second. So up next is the 00 of Glubler Lore. Qualified in 8th last season, made the top 12. Qualifying at Indy been a good specialty for him and his team. Unfortunately, Stingray Rob starts middle of row 9 in 26, so not that good. It's 239 in the short shoot. So far, it looks to be pretty solid. 231 exiting the turn. See what he's got to the start-finish line. And it will be a 236.992. That's just a little bit better than Hubbard's first lap. Which is the time to beat. It's 247 entering turn 3. Now gonna exit turn 4 here. Come down to the start-finish line. Second lap. 238.039. That is a big improvement. Gonna come off turn 4 here. That second lap was pretty good. Let's see if the trend continues. No, third lap slower, 237.756. Still averaging at the top. Currently at a 237.596. Coming off turn 4 here and to the line. And it's going to be his best lap here at the end. 238.379. For an average of 237.792. He's going to go to P1. So faster than both of the Viking racing cars that have gone out so far. And looking to make the Fast 6. Up next, another car that kind of struggled to find some speed yesterday, the 24 of Chet Jordan. Been known to be good on ovals, except recently may have not been showing it as much. Qualified 11th last season, finished in, I believe, 19th. Yes, it was on the wrong strategy, but just didn't have pace. Gonna hit 247 entering turn 3. And at the line, not gonna be the greatest first lap. 237.148. Already, however, this does put his average ahead of Nolan Siegel's average. That's just one lap in. So right now tracking to third. Gotta try and build up some speed here. And second lap, gonna be quicker, 237.448. So average now at a 237.298, just a bit slower than Hubbard. They're looking at third right now. Coming off turn 4. Let's see what this third lap has. Gonna be better. 237.567. That puts his average at a 237.388. It's now tracking to second. .248 entering turn 3. All three Sillyman racing cars made it into round 2. This is the first of them. He'll complete his run. Final lap, gonna be his best one, 237.743. A pretty consistent last few laps. So an average of 237.477, exactly 1/10 quicker than the 99. Up next, our only Toyota that made it into the round of 12. Lawless Allen in the 92 had a very impressive run. His teammates qualified 13th and 31st, so pretty big spread on his team. Ryan Preece qualified 3rd last season, qualified 13th this season. Let's see what the 92 has. Gonna be coming off turn 4 here and heading down the front straightaway. First lap, 237.336. That is the best first lap we've seen. Already that average, that first lap puts him in 4th out of 5. Gonna hit the line here and gonna go just a bit slower actually. 237.092, so gonna lose a little bit of speed. It's gonna bring his average to a 237.214, so fall down just a little bit. Coming off turn 4 for the third time. Let's see what speed it has here. Gonna be much better. 237.988, just shy of that 238 mark. Average now at a 237.472. So just 5,000 slower than Jet Jordan. Gonna come off turn 4 here. And to the line. Just gonna be a little bit quicker. 238.020. So gonna hit that 238 right at the end. For an average of 237.609. Still the double zero on top. But the 92 puts in a very good 4 laps. Just gonna put him second. So second out of 5. And now we're going to start building your bubble, as up next is the 33 of Marcus Armstrong. Also didn't look super great yesterday compared to what we're used to seeing out of him. Gonna have to see what he has over this 4-lap run. Gonna build up speed going down the backstretch. Doesn't hit 248 entering turn 3. Coming off turn 4 to the line. And it's gonna be, I believe, the best first lap we've seen. Yes, it is 237.592. That already puts him tracking to third ahead of teammate Chet Jordan, which would put Nolan Siegel on the bubble. Lawless Allen had the best first lap we saw, but then that second lap lost about 25 hundredths, I'd say. Second lap, gonna be better. 238.095. This is a good run so far. Average up to a 237.844, tracking to first. Off turn 4. He qualified 10th last season. Looks like it's already going to be better than that. As this one going to be a 238.341. This is a good run. First average in this group to be above 238 at a 238.009. That's a pretty considerable margin over the double zero. 240 in the short shoot. And not going to drop below 232 coming off turn 4 to the line. And it's going to be a bit slower on lap 4, 238.190. Doesn't matter though. So he's going to be in first with an average of 238.055. So now we're halfway. So Armstrong just needs at least one person to be slower than him and he'll advance. Siegel just one person quicker than him and he will not make it into the Fast 6. As up next, the man trying to bump him is teammate Roman Grosjean in his first ever attempt at Indy. So far, looking good. Gonna build up speed going down the backstretch. 247. Not gonna hit 248. See what he has. 231. He'll hit the line with a 237.624, just a little bit quicker than Armstrong's first lap. And already, this is good enough to bump out Nolan Siegel, so if he just continues at this rate, he'll knock him out, currently tracking to third. 247, not going to hit 248. Coming down the front stretch. This lap going to be much better, 238.259. That's not as quick as Armstrong's best lap, but better than Armstrong's second lap. Right now, this average is a 237.942, now tracking to second. Just needs a bit more pace, and it will beat Armstrong, and he had hit 248 entering turn 3. The Viking Racing one-off. So far quicker than 3 out of 4 of the full-time cars. Gonna go just a bit slower on lap 3, 238.228. So 238.037. Just a little bit, about 18 thousandths behind Armstrong's average. And all Armstrong needs is to beat one car. But if Grosjean goes to the top, he is locked into the Fast 6, regardless of what anyone else does. So to the line, 238.619. That is a big improvement. And the fastest one we have seen in this round, 238.183, is his average. That will take him to the top, and that will knock out the number 19. So Armstrong not quite safe. Grosjean is safe. It's going to put Hubbard on the cut line, and Siegel will not go any further. Up next, the big surprise of yesterday, only one Swindler's car made it into the Fast 6, or sorry, round 2, and it's the 14 of Justin Allgaier, carrying the torch for the team. Hamilton 15th, Foster 17th, Van Gisbergen 28th, and Pin 30th. So difficult day yesterday for the team, and Allgaier going to try and carry the torch. 248 entering turn 3. That is the first time we've seen that on a first lap this round. Just needs to beat an average of 237.377. If he beats 238.05, he is locked into the Fast 6. In this first lap, it's going to be a 237.938. And that looks to already be knocking out the number 99. As this average tracks to third. Only needs to find just a little bit more. This is a good start to your run. Coming off turn 4. And this lap gonna be better. 238.209. This is now tracking to second with a 238.074 average. Doesn't hit 248 that time. This lap may be a bit slower. Barely hits 232. Stayed in 233 for most of the time off that turn, and this lap actually is going to be better. 238.467. Average now at a 238.205. That's going to put him in P1 and safe into the next round if he can just keep it quick on this final lap. So may not have as much speed on the straightaways, but a lot of speed in the corners. Gonna hit the line here with a slower lap, 238.297. This will still improve his average to a 238.228, and that will advance him into the fast six. And that's going to knock out Brennan Hubbard. Armstrong still just needs only one car to go slower to advance. But Justin Allgaier to the top. That is going to put Chet Jordan on the cutoff. Devlin DeFrancesco qualified way down the order and then went out last minute, the final run of yesterday, to knock out Ryan Preece. So let's see what the 75 has. Teammate David Malukas qualified 16th. Just needs to beat an average of 237.477. But if he beats 238.055, he will be into the fast six. So we're going to have to see what he can do here. And that is a pretty good first lap, 237.749. That is the second best first lap that we've seen. And that's already going to put him tracking to fifth. Just a little bit behind Glubler. Just trying to get into the fast six. See what the second lap has. Doesn't look too bad coming off turn 4. And this lap's going to be slower, 237.661. That's going to bring down his average just a bit. Now at a 237.705, still tracking to fifth. Trying to see if he can find any more pace here. Just his second Indy 300. The only other race here was the very first one. Back in season 1. He's going to come off turn 4 here. And it's going to be his best lap so far, 237.875. So we'll bring up his average to a 237.762. Just a bit behind that double zero. Glubler's first lap not very quick. And that could be the killer. So let's see what the 75 has. 240 in the short shoot. Just needs a little bit. And it will be quicker. 237.944. And just barely going to beat out the double zero with a 237.807. This does mean Marcus Armstrong is locked into the fast six, and Chet Jordan has been bumped out of the fast six. And now that's going to put Devlin DeFrancesco as the car one spot away from advancing. So P4 for the 75 with 4 cars remaining. Sorry, 3 cars. Is now Lawless Allen going to be on the cutoff with a 237.609. Devlin trying to get in with a 237.807. And up next, possibly our biggest surprise from yesterday, the 53 of Tinkle McStinkle the fourth in his third Indy 300. He is a winner of a Triple Crown race, Auto Club in Season 1, and Eventide Racing has been through the ringer this season. And this 53, pretty much just happy to be here. Miles Rowe, 14th, just barely missed out. As he's going to come to the line for his first lap, and it is going to be 236.780. That is the second slowest first lap that we've seen. So right now it's looking pretty good for that 75. And the 92 just got to try and hang on here. Coming around turn 4. Now we have seen big improvements. Globler's first lap wasn't that good and then shot up to a 238. So will this be good enough? 237.079. It's going to be the slowest second lap that we've seen. Just behind Siegel and Allen. Current average of 236.93. Tracking to 10th. Gonna need some more pace. 246 entering turn 3. It's probably not gonna be enough. But either way, this is still a good run for the 53. Gonna go faster here. Now at a 237.480, that's a pretty decent jump. Brings his average up to a 237.113, now tracking to 9th. But if you're the 75 of Devlin DeFrancesco, I think you're pretty safe. And Lawless Allen gonna hang on once more. Coming off turn 4 here. And to the line. Gonna be a pretty decent jump once again. 237.837. That is a good jump and gonna bring his average up to a 237.294. Not able to beat the 99, but will beat the 19. But he will not make the Fast 6. Only gonna go to 10th. But regardless, for everything that's gone on with this team this season, I think he'll happily take a 9th. At worst, gonna be an 11th. So DeFrancesco gonna advance to the Fast 6. And that's gonna put Globler on the cut line with a 237.792 to try to advance. Allen's still gonna stay in 6th. But these two guys are gonna be tough to beat. Yuki Tsunoda, one of your one-offs, going out next for Silly Men Racing. They have one car advanced to the Fast 6, going to try and make it 2. Chet Jordan, best he'll start is 9th, so outside row 3. Sorry, worst Chet Jordan will start is 9th, best is 7th. .232 coming off the turn. This is going to be a good lap. Can it hit 238 on the first lap? Gonna be close. 238.013. This is the best first lap that we've seen. And just like that, the 03 of Yuki Tsunoda already tracking to 4th. Just a little bit behind the 33 of Armstrong. Gonna come around turn 4 here. Let's see what speed it is. This time gonna be better. 238.291. That is the best second lap we have seen. Brings the average up to a 238.152. Now tracking the third, just behind Grosjean and Allgaier. This is Tsunoda's only confirmed start of the season. So gonna try and nail it. Coming off turn 4 and to the line. Gonna be better once again. 238.505, once again the best third lap we've seen. Brings the average up to a 238.27, now tracking the first. Unfortunately for Lawless Allen, it looks like he is going to be done for. As let's see what he has. Yuki Tsunoda coming off turn 4 to punch into the fast 6. Going to be just 1,000th of a second quicker. 238.512 is the speed on that lap. It's not going to be the best fourth lap we've seen, but still pretty good. For an average of 238.33, that will go to the top. So Lawless Allen will advance no further. And Globler going to be the last guy trying to get in here in 6th. Going to have to hope that Connor Zilich doesn't get the job done. Up next, and finally, for round 2, going to be the number 9 of Connor Zilich. Viking Racing, only one car in the Fast 6. For now, trying to get a second car. Heading down the backstretch into turn 3 was the fastest car yesterday. Near the end of the session, beat out the 03. Has some good momentum on his side the last few races. And first lap going to be 237.944, second best first lap we've seen, just behind the 03. So that already puts him tracking to 5th and would knock out the 00 of Glubler. Gonna come around turn 4 here to the start finish line. 238.423. Best second lap that we have seen. That's a pretty big improvement. Tracking now at a 238.184, 1,000th quicker than teammate Romain Grosjean. Tracking the third. Gonna see if he can keep the pace up. Doesn't hit 240 in the short shoot. And just gonna be a tick faster, 238.43. Average now at a 238.266, so now looking at second. Connor Zilich started 5th in the Indy 300 last season. I think finished 6th. So had a good run. But he wants to do even better this season and wants to finish better this season. He's going to come off turn 4 And again, just going to be a little bit quicker, very consistent, 238.474. That will bring the average up to a 238.318, just a bit slower than the 03 of Sonoda. And I tell you, these the 03 and the 9 are going to be the guys to watch out for to go for pole. So Glover going to be the first car out in 7th. As we are about to go underway for the Fast 6. It will be the 03 of Yuki Tsunoda, the 9 of Connor Zilic, the 14 of Justin Allgaier, the 28 of Romain Grosjean, the 33 of Marcus Armstrong, and then finally the 75 of Devlin DeFrancesco. Pretty big surprise there, but the team will happily take that. So row 3 and 4 now set. Row 3 going to have Glover Lore once again, but this time he'll be on the inside. The middle will be occupied by Lawless Allen in his first ever running. And then Chet Jordan will be on the outside. In row 4 will be Brennan Hubbard in his second running. The 53 of Tinkle McStinkle going to be splitting up the two Viking cars of that row, as Nolan Siegel, slowest in round 2, will be starting in 12th. So that is it for round 2. We'll be back in just a moment for the Fast 6. We're back for the Fast 6. It's now underway. Track a little bit cooler. Speed's going to be quicker than what you just saw in round 2. And we're going to see who gets the pole here. Devlin DeFrancesco, first car out. I believe this is his first career Fast 6. It's going to come at Indy, and I believe this is also the first Fast 6 appearance from Ford this year. At worst, going to be starting 6th with 7 points. Everyone in this going to get anywhere from 7 to 12 bonus points as he takes the green flag. It's red, white, and green car. Gonna hustle down the backstretch. Let's see what speed he hits entering turn 3. 246, 247, gonna hit 248. He hit 240 in the short shoot in his run earlier, but only gonna hit 238 there. First lap, gonna be a 237.505. Not too bad to start us off. But gonna be a bit slower than his run last round. Gonna build up to a 248 entering turn 3. This is gonna be the guy that dictates the pace. Second lap gonna be a lot better. 238.354. That is an improvement by a whole mile per hour. Up to a 237.93 average. He's trying to get onto the front row. Maybe even see if he's got any juice for pole. Masters of Motors, been a long time since they've had a car sit on pole. Been over a season since their last win. So far this season, the start of it has been quite miserable. Third lap, oh, gonna be a pretty big fall off there. Gonna fall down to a 237.624. That's gonna hurt the average, gonna bring it back down to a 237.828. Don't know why he lost a lot of speed that third lap. Gonna come around turn 4 for the final time. This is it for qualifying for Devlin DeFrancesco, and he will end it with a 238.209. So second lap, the best one, for an average of 237.923. I don't think that's going to be enough for pole. Still a solid run for DeFrancesco. A little rocky, however. As up next is the 33 of Marcus Armstrong. Gonna hit the line here. Not quite having the pace that he would have wanted. Hasn't qualified worse than third this season, which would put him on the front row. Doesn't want to mess it up here. Either way, at worst, he's qualifying 6th. 248 entering turn 3. 239 in the short shoot. And then 231 exiting turn 3. Gonna have to see where this first lap will put him. 237.881, so a lot better than Devlin's first lap and already pretty close to his average. Second lap, gonna try and build up speed. 48, no 49. 240 in the short shoot, so looking very good Doesn't drop below 232 exiting turn 4. At the line will be a 238.039. So not as big of a jump as Devlin. More consistent. So right now his average is a 237.96, which does beat out the 75. 240 once again. Going to be a lot slower exiting turn 4 this time. So this lap may be a little bit slower. Yes, it will be 237.881. That's what he started with. Average is a 237.934. 11 thousandths quicker than Devlin's average over 10 miles. Back up to a 48. 240 in the short chute. And I'm going to exit turn 4. Stays in 233 for most of the time, so this is probably going to be his best lap. I lied, apparently. It's going to be a bit slower, 237.831. And that is going to drop him below Devlin's average with a 237.908. So not going to be pole for Marcus Armstrong. Devlin DeFrancesco, at worst, going to qualify in 5th. So not what Marcus Armstrong would have wanted. As up next, one of your 2 one-offs that made it into the Fast 6. It's the 28 of Roman Grosjean. Gonna be coming down the backstretch. 2 Viking racing cars made it into this round. Grosjean gonna hit 248 entering turn 3. First ever Indy 300 start. And first ever Open Wheel Offline League start. As first lap 237.724, better than Devlin's first lap, but not as good as Armstrong's first lap. Currently that average will put him in 3rd. But the second lap usually gets better. Let's see what we have here. Doesn't hit 240 in the short chute. Doesn't drop below 231. Gonna be coming to the line. It's a pretty solid improvement. 238.392. Best lap that we have seen so far. It's gonna bring the average up to a 238.058, which puts him in 1st. Coming to the line here. Gonna be even better. A very big improvement. 238.796. That is a very good 3rd lap. First one where we've seen the 3rd lap be the best so far. Average now at a 238.304. 248 holds it pretty solidly entering turn 3. And a 240 in the short chute. Doesn't drop into a 232 exiting turn 4. This is going to be a good 4th lap. And it's going to be his best lap. 238.892. Doesn't quite hit 239. But that was a good run. So average of a 238.451. Going to put him in 1st place by half a mile per hour. much like his run in round 2, started off not too quick, but then found the speed later on. Gonna see if that lack of pace in the first lap will hurt him. Up next, the other Indy 300 rookie, 14 of Justin Allgaier. So we already know what the speed to beat to get into the front row is. 238.451. I don't know if he hit 248 going into there, but the exit speed not too bad. Gonna be coming to the line. And this is the best first lap we've seen, 238.152. Already gonna put his average into second. Gonna see what he has going down the backstretch. .248, no 249s. Coming off turn 4. Let's see what he has. Gonna go better here. 238.247. Not as good as Grosjean or even DeFrancesco, but better than Armstrong. Average is a 238.2, tracking to second. Right now, the 28 is still faster. Gonna come around turn 4 now. And to the start-finish line. Gonna be better. 238.430, but still no lap has hit Grosjean's average. 238.276 now his average. He would need a very big lap here, a 239 probably, to try to beat the 28. Off turn 4 and to start finish line. And the fourth lap gonna be slower, 238.120. That was his slowest across his 4 laps for an average of 238.237. Not bad, but it's not good enough for pole. Will at best start second. Grosjean still on top. So 2 cars to go. Already we can confirm Marcus Armstrong going to have his worst qualifying effort of the season. If that's his worst, then that's not too bad. But up next, trying to beat his teammate for pole, the number 9 of Connor Zilich. No poles this season so far. Only 3 different drivers have gotten pole. Chet Jordan has 1, Armstrong has 2, and Van Gisbergen has 3. Already we know it's going to be a new pole sitter this season. 240 entering the short chute. This could be a big first lap. Let's see what Connor Zilich has. First lap, 238.379. Already that first lap puts him second. We know Romain Grosjean going to be on the front row. Zilich going to be with them there. If he keeps this up, 248. Not going to hit 249, but still looking very good. 240 holds it solidly going into the short chute, but will drop to a 231 exiting the turn. Will that hurt his average? Only going to be just a bit better. 238.531. Still, at this rate, Looks to be good enough to beat that 28 by 4 thousandths. His average is better. Connor Zilic could really use the points more than his teammate. But there's no team orders here. And obviously you can't remove Grosjean's time if he already did. He already went out. Just needs to keep it steady. Unfortunately, this lap going to be slower to 38.467. However, this will bring up his average to a 238.459, only up by 8 thousandths. Going to be going down the backstretch here. Barely hits 248. And will exit turn 4. It just doesn't look as good. This lap going to be much slower. 238.032, and that will make him lose out for pole. I'll put him in second, so he will start on the front row, but a 238.352, not good enough. So either way, a one-off is gonna be on pole. Just which one? Will it be Viking Racing or Silly Men Racing with one car left? Will be the 03 of Yuki Tsunoda. Average to beat 238.451. To get onto the front row needs an average of 0.237. Gonna rocket down the backstretch here. Gonna hit 48, entering turn 3. .231 exiting. Gonna need some more pace. As first lap will be 238.139. Right now that is only good enough to put him fourth. So could it be pole for Grosjean in his debut? Yuki Tsunoda, however, was faster by 4 tenths on that lap than Grosjean's first lap, but Grosjean built exponentially. Gonna have to see what the 03 has coming to the line, second lap. Much better, 238.448. Still hasn't even gotten to Grosjean's average yet, but his first 2 laps are better. Now tracking the third. Looking at outside row 1. 248 entering turn 3 once again. Doesn't hit 240 in the short shoot, however. At the line, this will be the teller, and it is just not good enough. 238.43. Average now at 238.339. Still in third. He would need a big lap here at the end to get into the pole position. But is it too late? He's going to need like a 238.6 at minimum. So Romain Grosjean on debut could be your pole sitter here. Viking Racing's first pole of the season could be now. It's a big final lap for Tsunoda, 238.695. Is that good enough? It is not. It is just barely not enough. A 238.428 average will only put him in second. And Romain Grosjean on debut will win the pole. As look At that time, that is over 10 miles that it was that close. You want to put that into time, that's about, I don't know. Grosjean would have done it in about 150.974. So over 10 miles, 15 thousandths of a second is going to be the difference. So Grosjean didn't really need the bonus points, but still going to help out in the team's championship there. But Romain Grosjean going to be on provisional pole, and what a surprise that is. So row one going to be Grosjean, Tsunoda, your two one-offs, going to be right together on the front row with Connor Zilic, your first of your actual full-timers, going to be on the outside. Row two going to be Justin Allgaier. In the middle will be Devlin DeFrancesco, and then Marcus Armstrong going to be in sixth. Row three will be Globler Lore, Lawless Allen, and then on the outside will be Chet Jordan. Row four going to be made up of Brendan Hubbard. Not going to have the same speed as his teammates, but still, with what he went through yesterday, that's pretty solid effort. McStinkle in the middle, going to be his best effort of the season by far. And then Nolan Siegel, probably looking for some more pace into the race. Row 5, Ryan Preece just barely misses out of being able to go in round 2. Miles Rowe going to be right next to him. Also, with what he went through yesterday, good effort. And then your other third Indy one-off going to be Lewis Hamilton. Row 6, David Malukas not going to have the same success as his teammate. He was the first car to go out this whole entire qualifying. In the middle going to be Louis Foster, and then on the outside, Carlos Huertas. In his debut, not an Indy one-off, he is actually going to be doing the rest of the season. So his first qualifying effort will be 18th. And then right behind him, going to be Alessio Deletta and Lindsey Brewer in the inside and middle of row 7, with Robbie Lore on the outside. Row 8 going to be Benjamin Peterson on the inside, so all of your Banshees of Little Miami cars going to be close together, because right next to him, Francesco Draconi in his first Indy 300, and then Dawa Tenzin in Team Canada Dry's first Indy 300. Could have been a lot better if that time wasn't pulled yesterday going into the fast lane. Row 9 will be Nico Hulkenberg. He needs a big day to basically save the team. The middle going to be Stingray Robb, not as good as last season, trying to keep up his top 10 streak. And then Guy Gagné, not even close to the rest of his team, going to be starting all the way down in 27th. Row 10 is a big shock. You're going to have Shane Van Gisbergen, Mahavir Raghunathan, sandwiched in between two Swindlers cars, first and third in the standings for Van Gisbergen and Pin. And they're going to be at the very back. And then row 11, starting all by himself. Once again, it's going to be a Team Eggs car this time. It's going to be the 76 of Ethan Martz. So that is qualifying for your Indy 300, which will take place on Wednesday, 3 p.m., 300 miles, as the name suggests. And based on this starting lineup, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how it all sorts out. But that is it for this time, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the Indianapolis